Mom, the $80,000. The bonus I worked so hard for. My reward for my performance? Of course. Once you're married, you're one of us. Kevin should open his coffee shop with that money. Then who pays our mortgage? What about the kids' college fund? You two should figure that out. As the eldest son's wife, taking care of his family should be your priority. A few hours later, my finger paused over my smartphone screen. The full $80,000 had been transferred to my mother's bank account. From that night on, my mother-in-law's calls were relentless. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. The phone vibrated without stopping, but I didn't answer. They had no idea how meticulous I was, or how the evidence I was gathering would be used against them. I had decided I was done being the good daughter-in-law. Your support and likes are what give me the strength to create more stories. Hello, my name is Sarah. This story takes place in the summer of 2025, but it began last winter. I was a production technology team lead at a semiconductor plant in Austin, Texas. My days were a relentless routine. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. sharp. My day began by quietly slipping out of bed so as not to wake my husband, Mark, and our 7-year-old daughter, Lily, showering, packing 2 lunches, and getting out the door. The commuter bus left at 6:40 a.m. Most days, I had to run, knowing I'd be late if I missed it. That day was no different. I had just managed to get on the bus and sit down when my phone buzzed with a notification from my company's messaging app. It was the team leaders group chat, and I saw a message from HR. The subject was the 2024 year-end performance bonus. The specific amounts were to be announced individually. My heart pounded. I had worked incredibly hard this year. We had successfully completed the new product line development project and reduced quality defects by 30% compared to last year. I was excited, hoping for a significant bonus. When I got home, after helping Lily with her homework and sitting down to make dinner, Mark came home looking more cheerful than usual. Sarah, I got my bonus notice today. I'm not sure of the exact amount, but I think it's around $8,000. $8,000 was a huge sum. Our mortgage payment was $2,800 a month, so that was nearly 3 months' worth. Mark must have been thrilled because he scooped Lily onto his lap and played with her. Daddy, can we go to Disneyland? Well, when our little princess's dad gets his bonus, we'll go to Disneyland and eat all the yummy food. It was a wonderful scene to watch. Truly. At that moment, I thought we were a family. But that night, Mark went to take a shower and left his phone on the table. I was washing the dishes when I suddenly heard Mark's phone chime. At first, I just ignored it. I thought it was rude to look at my husband's phone, but the screen was on, so I could see the message. Wells Fargo, your transfer has been completed. $8,000 to Karen Miller. Karen Miller. That was my mother-in-law's name. The plate I was holding nearly slipped from my hand. In a fraction of a second, a torrent of thoughts flooded my mind. Did I see that wrong? But $8,000? I hadn't received my bonus yet, so I quickly picked up the phone and checked again. It clearly said transfer completed. The time was 3:20 p.m. Mark was at the office. I could hear the sound of the shower running. I quickly put the phone down and tried to calm my racing thoughts. No, there must be a reason. Mark will explain. But my heart felt strange. A cold feeling washed over my chest. My fingertips grew cold. When Mark came out of the bathroom, I pretended nothing was wrong and asked, "Honey, did you send money to your mom?" I saw Mark's face stiffen for a second. Then he gave a forced smile and said, "Oh, she said she had an emergency." An emergency? What kind? It's about Kevin. He said he's preparing to open a coffee shop and was short on the deposit. Kevin was Mark's younger brother. He was 33, had never held a steady job, and lived off money from his mother. But why didn't you tell me? Mark turned to look at me with an annoyed expression. She said it was urgent, so I just did it. Why are you making a big deal out of it? His tone made me feel like I had done something wrong. I wanted to ask more, but Mark's face became so cold that I couldn't say anything. That night, I lay in bed but couldn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling and thought, I just lost $8,000. We lived so frugally, paying our mortgage every month. My take-home pay was about $3,500, and Mark's was $3,200. After the $2,800 mortgage, $500 in student loans, Lily's school fees, and living expenses, we barely cleared $6,000 a month combined. So, when I got my bonus this time, I was planning to start paying off my student loans. But then another question suddenly popped into my head. Is this the first time? Has he sent money before? The next morning, on the bus, I checked our online banking on my phone. I was looking at our joint account, not my personal one. And I noticed something strange. Around the 20th of every month, Mark had withdrawn $500 from our account. I looked back over the past year, and it had been going on for nearly a year. My heart started pounding. Surely, he couldn't be sending that much money to his family. That night, I mustered up the courage to ask Mark directly, "Honey, why are you taking out $500 from our account every month?" Mark turned to look at me, his face looking annoyed. "It's for my mom's living expenses." Living expenses? She lives alone. $500 a month. Of course, I have to take care of that. The phrase "of course" made my heart sink. He never consulted me, took money from our shared finances to give to his mother, and then said it was "of course." What about our family? My parents are at home too. Mark slammed the remote down on the table. We should each be responsible for our own parents. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? We should each be responsible for our own parents. Those words stabbed me in the heart. I thought we were one family unit, but to Mark, it was as if we were two separate entities. Just then, my phone rang. It was my mother-in-law. Mark gestured for me to pick it up. "Hello, Mom." "Sarah, I heard you're getting a big bonus this year." I was speechless. I had never mentioned the bonus to my mother-in-law. I guessed Mark had told her. "It's not finalized yet, but they said it would be more than last year." And I could hear my mother-in-law's expectant voice on the other end of the line, and I knew. My in-laws were targeting my bonus too. The following week, I received a private notification from the company. My bonus was $80,000. I was genuinely shocked. We had exceeded our team's target by 150%. I was happy, but also worried. I knew how my mother-in-law would react. That night, when I got home, I cautiously told Mark, "Honey, my bonus came through." "How much did you get?" Mark's eyes lit up. Then, she picked up the phone and started calling someone. She spoke quietly, but I could still hear her. "Mom, Sarah got an $80,000 bonus." "Yeah, that's right. Okay, I get it." After hanging up, Mark turned back and said, "Sarah, I think you need to help me out this time." "What is it?" "I told you about Kevin's coffee shop. The deposit isn't enough." My heart sank. As I suspected, my mother-in-law was after my bonus. "Honey, we have to pay off our student loans, and Lily's tuition is going up, but we can do that later. Kevin is in a hurry." Later? Our family's needs are always postponed, and your family's needs are always urgent. How much do you need? About $40,000. $40,000. That's half my bonus. I thought $80,000 was a lot, but you're so easily asking for half. It seems excessive. Is there no other way? Mark's expression turned cold. "Sarah, we're family. Why are you being so calculating?" Hearing the word family made him even more angry. "You say we're family, so why didn't you consult me? You say we're family, so why did you secretly take money from me every month? Shouldn't we have discussed it? You even took $500 a month without telling me." Mark was startled. This wasn't a secret. Taking care of your parents is the natural thing to do. So aren't my parents also parents? Shouldn't we each take care of our own mother? I repeated. We should each take care of our own mother. So why do I have to take care of my mother-in-law? Then my mother-in-law should take care of Mark too. Why? With my money. "Hey! What are you talking about?" Mark shouted. Lily came out of her room and looked at us. I didn't want to fight in front of her, so I lowered my voice. "Lily, go play in your room." After Lily went inside, Mark said, "Sarah, are you the daughter-in-law of this house?" The term daughter-in-law stabbed me in the heart. A husband calling his wife a daughter-in-law. She wasn't Sarah. She was the daughter-in-law of the Miller family. As a daughter-in-law, you have to do everything, right? Including my money. It's family money. Where's my money? Family money? Then why didn't you give me the money Mark sends to his mother-in-law every month? Isn't that family money? Then Mark's phone rang. It was from his mother-in-law. Mark saw it. Hello, Mom. Yeah, I already told you. No. Sarah was talking to Mark while he looked at me. His voice seemed a little apologetic. Yes, Mom. I'll talk to her again. Okay, I get it. Mark hung up and said to me, Yes, Mom. She said she wants to talk to me directly. My phone rang. It was my mother-in-law. I had no choice but to answer. Hello, Mom. Sarah. I heard from Mark about Kevin's coffee shop. Yes. Do you know how hard he's worked? This time he's really going to do it right, but the deposit isn't enough. I could hear the sadness in my mother-in-law's voice. I understood her concern for her second son. But Mom, we have debts too, and it will take a long time to pay them off. But if Kevin misses this opportunity, it's over. But 40,000 is too much. 40,000? No, Sarah. I need the full 80,000. The full 80,000. I wondered if I had misheard. So I asked again. Mom, the full 80,000 is like that. Including the interior design costs for the place, that amount has to be spent. And Sarah, you're our daughter-in-law. You should help your husband's family. As a daughter-in-law, you should help. So what was I before I was a daughter-in-law? And after becoming a daughter-in-law, does that mean my money is no longer mine? Mom, I have parents too, and Mark should take care of that. You should think of your own family first. If you get married, you're part of your husband's family too. The phrase part of your husband's family kept ringing in my ears. So, what about my parents' family? It's where I lived for over 30 years, and now my parents, who raised me, are strangers? Mom, but 80,000 is too much, Sarah. You're an adult, and you still think that way. When you get married, your husband's family always comes first. That's just polite. They even said it was polite. I guess that means I'm an impolite daughter-in-law. After hanging up, Mark asked, What are you going to do? His face was full of expectation. He seemed to think I would naturally agree. I'll think about it. What do you think? We're a family, and I really wanted to say family. If we were really a family, I wish you would have considered my feelings too. But my feelings were being ignored just because we were a family. That night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling and cried. It was so sad. I realized what kind of person I was in this house. A daughter-in-law who brings money home. Nothing more, nothing less. Mark was fast asleep. It was as if nothing had happened to him today. He probably thought I would agree tomorrow. But strangely, even as tears streamed down my face, another emotion welled up inside me. It was anger. Why did I have to put up with this? In that moment, a thought crossed my mind. Mark, we should each be responsible for our own parents. That's right. Everyone should take care of their own mother. So shouldn't I take care of my own mother? The next day, during lunch at work, I confided in my senior colleague, Jessica. Jessica was a year older than me, and she had gone through similar struggles, so I wanted to get her advice. Sarah, you're too naive. You didn't know your husband was taking $500 a month? I did. I knew it was being withdrawn from our account, but I didn't know it was going to his mother. That's the problem. There should be no financial secrets between a husband and wife. Jessica was right. I was only just realizing it, but I had always felt that transparency was important in managing our finances. But Jessica, am I being too selfish? We're a family. Sarah, they're sacrificing you by saying we're a family. If we were truly a family, shouldn't they have listened to your opinion? Those words cleared things up. I had been forced to make a one-sided sacrifice in the name of family. What should I do? First, find out exactly how much money flowed out and where it was spent. Following Jessica's advice, I started a thorough investigation that evening. While Mark was out watching a football game, I pulled all the statements from both our joint and my personal bank accounts. The results were shocking. Since March of last year, $500 had been flowing out every month, and on special occasions, An additional $1,000 or $2,000 was added. Mother's Day, my mother-in-law's birthday, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. In total, $13,000 had been transferred to my husband's family over the past year. But what was even more surprising was what came next. Out of curiosity, I asked Mark about his personal bank account. He didn't want to tell me at first, but I kept asking, and he finally showed me. Mark's bank account was being regularly drained. He was sending $300 to Karen every month. So, $800 a month, nearly $10,000 a year, was flowing to his family. Mark, what is this? Mark tried to snatch his phone away. It's just my own spending money. But $800 a month is more than our living expenses. Why are you being so stingy with my mom? He continued, as if I hated my mother-in-law. No, nothing's wrong. I'm just worried about our family's finances. But then I discovered something truly astonishing. The money Mark sent to his mother from his bank account was transferred directly to Kevin on the same day or a day or two later. His mother was directly passing the money she received to her second son. So, in the end, the money Mark earned was all going to Kevin. Mark, look. The money your mom receives is going straight to Kevin. Mark's face hardened for a moment. He didn't seem to realize it. Ha! There must have been an emergency. Every day, Mark has been silent for over a year. He seemed to finally understand the situation. That night, his mother called. Mark answered the phone and listened to the whole conversation. Mark, Sarah said she'll give you the money. That's right, Mom. Sarah is a little worried. What's there to worry about? It's natural for a daughter-in-law to help her husband's family. And you know how hard Kevin has worked. I understand, Mom. Let me explain again. Okay, let's wrap this up quickly. Kevin is waiting. After hanging up, Mark looked at me. Sarah, Mom has been waiting for a long time. Did you know that all the money Mark and Mom receive is for Kevin? What's the big deal? I didn't say anything, but in the end, you're using your money to continue supporting Kevin. Mark jumped up. Kevin is taking care of his family. He's preparing to start a business. It will take over a year to prepare. In that time, he's already made over $10,000. Why are you being so calculating? Calculating? Calculating is understanding the flow of money. So, how should we manage our family finances? Honey, I'm worried about our family. If you support him with $800 a month, plus the performance bonus, that's enough. You're so selfish. Thinking about being called selfish, my heart ached. If worrying about my family is selfish, then what am I living for? That night, I decided I couldn't live like this anymore. Mark said we should take care of our own mothers, so I decided to do just that. The next day, I told my senior colleague at work about my plan. Jessica, I'm going to give my performance bonus to my mom. Really? What will your husband say? It's fine. We've decided to take care of our own mothers. Jessica laughed. Sarah, just do it. You're a daughter before you're a daughter-in-law. That's right. I'm someone's daughter before I'm a daughter-in-law. I have parents who raised me for over 30 years. There was only one day left until the performance bonus was paid. Mark thought I would naturally give the money to his family. Sarah, when you get your performance bonus tomorrow, contact my mom immediately. Okay, I replied, but in my heart, I was making other plans. Just like Mark, I decided not to tell anyone about my plan. 2 days before the bonus was due, my mother-in-law suddenly called and said she was coming to our house. She said she was bringing Kevin with her. I figured she wanted to talk about the bonus herself. The two of them arrived on Saturday afternoon. My mother-in-law ate the food I made and said, Sarah, your cooking skills have improved so much. You really change when you become a daughter-in-law. They say a daughter-in-law changes. What about before? I was a good cook, even before I got married. Kevin is trying to sign a lease for a nice coffee shop location, but he said the deposit is not enough. Kevin intervened. Sister-in-law, this is a really good location. It's near the Domain, so there are a lot of highways, and it's near the Domain. Are you going to open a coffee shop in such an expensive place? Hey, Kevin, do you have any experience running a coffee shop? Kevin's expression hardened slightly. I don't have any experience, but I know what young people like these days, so I'll be fine. You want to open a coffee shop in the domain with no experience. And with your own money? My mother-in-law said, Sarah, I heard you're getting a big bonus this time. Yes. But how much has your mother-in-law earned? Mark asked from the side. 80,000? Mom. 80,000. My mother-in-law's eyes lit up. 80,000. Wow, that's a lot. Our Sarah is amazing. She suddenly became our Sarah. Her attitude changed when money was mentioned. Then Kevin's coffee shop won't be a problem. 80,000 is enough. 80,000 is enough? Do you mean I have to give you all my bonus? The full 80,000, Mom? Of course. We're family. Why are you being so stingy? You'll benefit from it anyway. She said I would benefit? What do I get out of Kevin's coffee shop? Mom, we have debts too. What's the big deal? It's the light of youth. Just pay it off gradually. But Kevin, you can't miss this opportunity. My mother-in-law said I could pay off my debt slowly, but I couldn't miss Kevin's opportunity. And Sarah, you're my daughter-in-law. If your husband's family does well, you'll be happy too, right? If your husband's family does well, I'll be happy too. Does that mean I have to sacrifice for the happiness of my husband's family? Kevin said sarcastically. Sister-in-law, you need to spend about 80,000 to open a decent coffee shop. These days, the interior design costs are not cheap. She said I had to spend about 80,000. My annual salary is also about 80,000. Does she call that a significant amount? My mother-in-law continued. Sarah, if you get married, you're part of your husband's family. And you know that a daughter-in-law's money is her husband's family's money, right? A daughter-in-law's money is her husband's family's money. Are you saying that the money I worked so hard for is my husband's family's money? Mom, what's the big deal? Are you talking back to your mother-in-law? Even the word disobedient was mentioned. It's disrespectful to express your own opinion, Mark said from the side. Sarah, Mom is right, we're a family, and the word family was mentioned again. If we're really a family, I hope you'll consider my situation too. Kevin added, Sister-in-law, if the coffee shop does well, you'll get free coffee too. Isn't that great? Free coffee? I'm putting in $80,000 and I get free coffee? Does that make sense? My mother-in-law made a definitive statement. Sarah, when you get your performance bonus tomorrow, transfer it to Kevin's account immediately. Mark knows the account number. Transfer it immediately. No need to ask me. Mom, I need some time to think. What are you thinking about? Your mother-in-law is asking for your help. What's there to think about? Her voice became sharp. Sarah, aren't you going to listen to me? No. What's wrong? What if a daughter-in-law doesn't listen to her mother-in-law? At that moment, I felt suffocated. It felt like I was no longer a person, just a daughter-in-law. Kevin said the last words. Sister-in-law, we're not asking for too much. You're family, so of course you have to help. Of course you have to help. It's natural for me to give you $80,000. That night, after my mother-in-law and Kevin left, Mark said, Sarah, what are you going to do tomorrow when you get your performance bonus? I'm thinking about it. What are you thinking about? Mom is asking you to do it. A favor. It sounded like a command. I couldn't sleep that night. I went into the bathroom and looked in the mirror. My face looked so haggard. When did things get so difficult? It was as if I was talking to myself in the mirror. Sarah, how long are you going to live like this? At that moment, tears started to fall. I couldn't cry out loud, so I covered my mouth with a towel and sobbed. What was I in this house? A money-making machine. A slave named daughter-in-law. After crying like that, my mind cleared up. I can't live like this anymore. Mark said that each person should take care of their own mother. So I only have to take care of my mother. As my mother-in-law once said, if a daughter-in-law's money is her husband's family's money, then isn't a daughter's money her parents' money? The next day was the performance bonus payday. On the way to work, Mark said, Sarah, call me as soon as you get your bonus today. Mom is waiting. Okay, I said. But in my heart, I was planning something else. Today will be the day my life changes. Everyone, you must have heard Sarah's story. It must be so frustrating, right? To be told that you can't even express your own opinion just because you're a daughter-in-law. and to be expected to give up the money you worked so hard for, as if it were your own. But Sarah decided that she couldn't take it anymore. What will happen on the day she receives her bonus? Please look forward to the next part. On the day I received my bonus, I woke up earlier than usual to prepare myself. Today was the most important decision of my life. I went to work, but I couldn't concentrate. My bonus was scheduled to be deposited around 3 p.m. Jessica, my senior colleague, noticed my condition and asked, "Sarah, today's the day, right?" "Yes, I'm so nervous." "It's okay. It's my decision. Don't regret it." At 2:50 p.m., I held my phone, my hands trembling. And then, at exactly 3:02 p.m., I received a text message. "Wells Fargo, your payroll deposit of $80,000 from Kim, Sarah has been processed." $80,000. $80,000 was in my account. For a moment, it felt surreal. I had never received such a large amount of money at once, but the joy was short-lived. My phone rang. It was Mark. "Honey, did you get your bonus?" "Yes. It just came in." "How much?" "Okay. Then can you transfer it directly to Kevin's account?" "I'll transfer it to that account number." "Transfer it immediately. No need to ask me." "Honey, but I want to give it to my parents too." There was a short silence on the phone. "What?" "I have parents too." "Hey, what are you talking about?" "Mom said it yesterday, and I said it too. Let's take care of our own mothers." "That's not what I meant." "So what did you mean? You meant I should only take care of your mother?" Mark raised his voice. "Sarah, are you crazy? We're a family." The word family was mentioned again. "If we're a family, then why aren't my parents family?" "That's right. We're a family. So shouldn't we discuss it and decide?" "What are we discussing? It's already been decided." "Decided? When was it decided?" "I never agreed. I never agreed." "Sarah." The tone in which Mark said my name changed completely. It wasn't just angry, it was scared. "Honey, I'm going in first. Let's talk at home." After hanging up, I immediately logged into my online banking on my phone. I entered my mother's account number. The amount was $80,000. The recipient, my mom, hesitated for a moment. Can I really do this? But then Mark's words came to mind. "Let's take care of our own mothers." That's right, let's take care of our own mothers. I pressed the send button. Transfer completed. My heart pounded. I really did it. There was no going back. I immediately called my mother. "Mom, it's Sarah. Why did you suddenly transfer your performance bonus to my account?" "What? How much?" $80,000. I could hear my mother's surprised voice over the phone. "Sarah, that's so much money. What about your family?" "It's okay, Mom. We should each take care of our own mothers." "What are you talking about?" "I'll explain later. I just wanted to make sure you got it." On the way home, I received more than 10 calls from Mark. I didn't answer. He kept sending texts, but the content was clear. "Get home now. What have you done? What are you going to tell my mom?" That kind of thing. When I got home, Mark was waiting at the door. His face must have been red. "Sarah, are you insane? Why did you send your performance bonus to your parents?" "Yeah, I told you we should each take care of our own mothers." "I said that's not what I meant." "So what did you mean? Explain it to me." Mark was speechless. He must have known how insulting he meant to be. "Do you know what Mom is going to say?" "I don't know." "You can explain it." "What's there to explain? You're wrong." "I'm wrong? Is it wrong to give money to my own parents?" Just then, Mark's phone rang. It was his mother-in-law. Mark answered the phone. "Hello, Mom." His mother-in-law's voice boomed through the phone. Did Sarah really send her parents the money? I'm sorry. Are you kidding me? $80,000. Her voice got louder and louder. I had a feeling the phone had been switched to speakerphone. The daughter-in-law isn't listening to her mother-in-law. And Mark glared at me. I stepped forward and said, "Mom, it's Sarah. What have you done?" "You gave my money to your parents." "My money? How is my daughter-in-law's money my money?" He said it again. "A daughter-in-law's money is her husband's family's money." "Then, Mom, isn't a daughter's money her parents' money?" "What are you talking about?" Once you're married, a daughter belongs to her husband's family. So what are my parents? I could hear my mother-in-law gasping before I could speak. Sarah, give the money back right now. What do you want me to do? Go to your parents' house and beg, whatever it takes. Are you telling me to kneel down and beg my parents to give the money back? Mom, I can't do that. What? You can't? Yes, Mark said so. We should each take care of our own mothers. That's not what he meant. Mark said so too. But then what did he mean? What did he mean? My mother-in-law was speechless, and after a moment, she said, Sarah, are you really going to say that? I didn't do anything. I just took care of my parents with my own money. From that night on, my mother-in-law called constantly. At 1, 2, 3 inches the morning. The phone vibrated without stopping. But I didn't answer. Instead, I turned on the recorder, just in case I needed it later. Mark slept in the basement. He said he was angry with me and didn't want to share a room. That was fine. I didn't want to see Mark's face either. The next morning, Lily asked, Mom, Dad, did you fall asleep during your foreign language test? I'm afraid Dad will catch a cold and give it to you. It was a lie, but I couldn't tell my daughter the truth. Mark went to work without eating breakfast. As he was leaving, he said, Sarah, you'll regret this. Regret? I think this is the first time I've made the right choice. I went to work and told Jessica, and she clapped her hands. Sarah, you did a good job. You finally made your choice, Jessica. But what about the future? I don't know. But at least I won't be the only one getting hurt. That's right. I won't be the only one getting hurt anymore. Now I'm the one in charge. It was the 4th day since I sent the bonus to my parents. It was a Saturday, so I was at home when I got an urgent call from my mother around 2 p.m. Sarah, come quickly. Your mother-in-law is making a scene. My heart sank. Did she really go to my parents' house? What did she say? Did she want my money back? No. She actually said she would take you away. Take me away? No way. Mom, don't open the door. I'll be right there. I hurriedly took a taxi to my parents' house. I could hear my mother-in-law's voice from the corner of the alley. It seemed Mark was with her. Mrs. Evans, come out. Where are you hiding my daughter-in-law? You said you hit her? I'm a person, but you're treating me like an object. When I arrived in front of my new house, my mother-in-law was indeed there. Mark was also standing next to me. My mother-in-law was banging on the door and shouting, Sarah, come out. Come out right now. What are you doing? My mother-in-law turned to look at me, her face red. You finally came out. Mom, why did you come all the way here? Why? Because you stole my money. Stole? Is it stealing to give my own money to my parents? Mom, that's my performance bonus. Where is my daughter-in-law's money? It's my in-law's money. The neighbors came out to watch and started looking. I was embarrassed, but I couldn't do anything. Mark came over to me. Sarah, apologize to Mom and bring the money back. Apologize? What did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong? Not listening to your mother-in-law, she shouted again. Sarah, bring the money right now. If you don't, I won't let you get away with it. Not let me get away with it. Is that a threat? Mom, I just used my own money to take care of my parents. As Mark said, let's take care of our own mothers. That's not what I meant. That's what I meant. Then please someone explain to me what I mean. My mother-in-law started banging on my parents' door even harder. Mrs. Evans, come out and teach your daughter a lesson. Is a daughter-in-law allowed to behave like this? At that moment, I took out my phone and started filming. I thought I should record this situation. Sarah, what are you doing? Mark tried to take my phone, but I dodged him. I'm filming. I might need it later. My mother-in-law got even more angry. What are you filming? Turn it off. Don't turn it off. She'll remember everything I'm doing. My mother-in-law grabbed my arm. What kind of bitch is this? What kind of bitch is this? That's what a mother-in-law said to her daughter-in-law. Mom, let go of my arm. Don't go out. Give me the money right now. Just then, the front door opened. My mother came out. Mrs. Karen, stop it. What are you doing? Mrs. Evans, your daughter stole my money, my mother said calmly. She didn't steal it. Sarah gave it to me. Where is my daughter-in-law's money? It's her in-law's money. Then isn't her daughter's money her parents' money? My mother said the same thing to me. As expected of my mother-in-law became even more agitated. She's talking to me right now. This isn't a joke, it's a fact. Sarah is also someone's daughter. Mark intervened. Calm down, moms. Why are you talking about family outside the house? My mother-in-law even got angry at Mark. It's because I didn't raise my daughter-in-law properly. That's what this is. Raise my daughter-in-law? Am I worthy of being raised? Then the woman next door came out. Why is it so noisy? My mother-in-law also said to the woman next door, Ma'am, this family's daughter stole her in-law's money. What did you say? The daughter-in-law isn't listening to her mother-in-law, and the woman next door looked at me with a bewildered expression. I was so embarrassed. My mother was furious. Mrs. Miller, are you turning our daughter into a thief? What's wrong with Sarah using her own money to support her parents? When you get married, your in-laws always come first. So are you saying her parents should die? The two mothers started fighting. I continued to film and watch the situation. My mother-in-law suddenly tried to enter my parents' house. I'm going in to get my money. My mother blocked her. No. This is our house. My money is here, so I have to go in. At that moment, I called 911. The situation was getting too serious. Hello. This is the police station. My mother-in-law is causing a disturbance in front of my house. My mother-in-law heard my call and got even more angry. Call the police. That bastard Mark tried to take my phone. Sarah, hang up. Don't hang up. I had already reported it. A police car arrived shortly after. 2 officers got out. I received a report. What's going on? My mother-in-law spoke first. Officer, someone stole my money in this house. The police officer saw me. Can you explain the situation? I explained it step by step, that I sent my bonus to my parents' house, that my mother-in-law came to visit and caused a disturbance. And the situation up to now, the police officer said that if I transferred money from my own bank account, it was not theft. This is private property, so you can't enter without permission. My mother-in-law changed her tune. A daughter-in-law's money is her husband's family's money. The police officer shook his head. Legally, the money is in her name and belongs to her. Even if you're married, personal property is recognized. My mother-in-law's face turned pale. It seemed she realized she was wrong. The police officer continued. The current situation seems serious, so please resolve it quietly. If you make any more noise, I'll have no choice but to take action. My mother-in-law said what she wanted to say. Mark also bowed his head in embarrassment. After the police left, I said to my mother-in-law, Mom, you can go home now. Sarah, you didn't do anything wrong. You just took care of your parents with your own money. My mother-in-law's last words were, You'll regret this. After my mother-in-law and Mark left, my mother hugged me. Sarah, you've been through a lot. I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? You didn't do anything wrong. That night, I called Jessica. I told her everything that had happened that day. Sarah? Keep that recording safe. You'll need it later. Jessica, what should I do now? I think I should prepare for a divorce. I can't go on living like this. Just mentioning divorce made me feel heavy. But Jessica was right. I couldn't go on living in this situation. Can you help me? Then I'll introduce you to a lawyer I know. I started preparing in earnest the following week. I organized all the money transfers, records, recordings, and the video I took that day. I also consulted with a lawyer. Ma'am, you have enough evidence. The chances of winning are very high. I can finally decide my own life. I will no longer be oppressed by my status as her daughter-in-law. A week after consulting with the lawyer, the legal process began. I filed for mediation first, as the lawyer advised that it would be better to resolve the issue through mediation than to go to court. When the mediation date was set, Mark came home and said, Sarah, are you really going to court? Of course not. What other choice is there? But we're a married couple, right? As a married couple, you should have respected my opinion. As a married couple, we should have discussed it. Don't make decisions on your own. When you unilaterally withdrew $500 from the bank account every month and told your in-laws to give you all your performance bonus. That was all unilateral. Mark was speechless. He probably couldn't argue with that. We went to court on the day of the mediation. The mediation room was smaller and quieter than I expected. There were 2 mediation committee members, and I sat on one side with my lawyer. Mark sat on the other side with his mother-in-law. The mediation committee member spoke. Today, we will listen to both sides and find a common ground. Mark's side spoke first. Mark said, "Mr. Mediator, my wife sent my performance bonus to her parents' house without permission. You said the bonus belonged to Mark? I received it, but my lawyer said that the applicant's performance bonus was received by the applicant herself and transferred from her honorary account." The mediation committee member reviewed the documents. According to the performance bonus statement, it is in Sarah's name. Therefore, it belongs to Sarah. My mother-in-law intervened. But isn't a daughter-in-law's money her in-law's money? The mediation committee member shook his head. Legally, that is not true. Even during a marriage, property in one's own name is private property. At that moment, my mother-in-law's face turned pale. She must have realized that her argument was legally flawed, right? My lawyer continued. The real issue is that the defendant unilaterally disposed of marital property without the plaintiff's consent. He took out the papers. It was a summary of the money Mark had withdrawn from our bank account and the money he had sent to his in-laws. The mediation committee member reviewed the papers. It says that $13,000 has been withdrawn over the past year. Did you consent to this? Mark couldn't answer. He did not consent, I told him. I had no idea. I found out later when I checked the bank statement. You definitely withdrew money without your wife's knowledge. Mark made an excuse. Well, that was to take care of my mother. Taking care of your mother and withdrawing money without your wife's knowledge are 2 completely different things. The mediation committee member was right. You can't neglect family finances under the pretext of filial piety. At that moment, my lawyer submitted additional documents. This is a video of the defendant's mother coming to the plaintiff's parents' house and causing a disturbance. They played the video in the mediation room. My mother-in-law was banging on the front door and shouting, swearing, and calling her a bitch. Her face was red. This is really infuriating. No matter how angry I am, this behavior is very problematic, the mediator said sternly. Next, the documents related to Kevin were brought up. They showed that the money my mother-in-law received from Mark was transferred directly to Kevin. Who is this Kevin? Mark answered quietly. He's my younger brother. So the money was used for the younger brother's living expenses. If it was for startup capital, there would be documents such as a business registration or a lease agreement. Mark couldn't answer. There were no such documents at all. In the end, Kevin was just preparing to start a business, but in reality, he was just receiving and using the money. The mediation committee member summarized the case. In summary, the following happened. The defendant unilaterally disposed of the plaintiff's marital property without his consent, and the money was actually used for the brother-in-law's living expenses. My mother-in-law hastily said, "But isn't it natural for a daughter-in-law to help her husband's family?" The mediation committee member shook his head. There is no legal obligation to do so. And even if they do help, there must be prior agreement between the couple. At that moment, Mark's expression completely collapsed. It seemed he realized that everything he had believed to be right was wrong. The mediation committee member asked, "How would Miss Sarah like to settle this?" He referred to the terms drafted by my lawyer. First, the divorce proceedings. Second, the equitable division of the apartment and savings. Third, child custody. Fourth, the return of the money sent to the in-laws. Mark was stunned. Repayment of installments? That's right. It's compensation for the unilateral disposal of property during the marriage. The mediation committee member looked at Mark. "What do you think?" Mark looked at his mother-in-law. His mother-in-law also looked at him with a puzzled expression. "Can you give me some time? Let's meet again next week." As I was leaving the mediation room, Mark called after me. "Sarah, are you really going to go through with this?" I looked straight at Mark. "Mark, how long are you going to ignore me?" "I'm not ignoring you." "Then what?" He never once asked for my opinion, just used the legal system at his convenience, and then called us family. Isn't that ignorance? Mark was speechless. Now they were finally having a proper conversation. At that moment, Mark's tears welled up for the first time. But it was too late. I should have done this a long time ago. A week later, at the second mediation session, Mark agreed to all the terms. I think he realized he couldn't hold out any longer. As I walked out of the courthouse after the mediation, I felt free for the first time. I could really live my own life now. A month after the mediation, all the procedures were completed. I agreed to take the apartment, and Mark agreed to pay me back $6,500, half of the money he had sent to his in-laws. I also won custody of Lily. The first thing I did was change the door code. This house was now completely mine. I felt so refreshed as I entered the new code. Next, I cleaned everything in the house. I threw away all the things related to Thanksgiving, gifts from my in-laws, and the like. Instead, I redecorated the house with things I liked. At first, Lily was sad that her dad wasn't here. She kept asking, "Mom, when are you coming home? Dad is going to live somewhere else now. But if Lily misses him, he can see you anytime. Why aren't we living together?" I wondered how to explain it, but I decided to be honest. Mom and Dad have different opinions, so I think it's better to live separately. Lily nodded in understanding. Children are more sensitive to situations than adults think. Things at work also changed. I stopped working overtime. Spending time with Lily was my top priority. And above all, my work improved because I was no longer stressed. Jessica said, "Sarah, your expression has completely changed. You've become so much brighter." I really felt it. When I looked in the mirror, my face looked happier than before. About a month later, my mother-in-law called. "It's been a while, Sarah." "Yes." "I'm sorry, Mom." I was a little startled. My mother-in-law was apologizing. Kevin was scammed at the coffee shop. Yes, he lost all the money he had ever received because of that scam. I knew it. There was no reason for him to open a coffee shop in the domain with no experience. So, I asked Mark for more money, but that's the reason. Mark said he can't give me any more money. Of course, Mark has to live alone now, so he won't have much time. "Sarah, can you help me?" "You want me to help you? After all the times you've treated me like this?" "Mom, I'm sorry, but I can't do that." "Sarah, you said it yourself. You said you have to take care of your own mother." My mother-in-law did exactly what she said. After all, she was the one who said it. "And Mom, I'm no longer your daughter-in-law." I hung up the phone. I had no more ties to my in-laws. 3 months later, Mark came to visit. He came to pick up Lily. "Sarah, Mark looks much better." I really regretted it then. "I'm sorry now, I shouldn't have done that." I was wrong. Mark bowed his head. "Mom regrets it too. My mother-in-law regrets it." "So what, Mark? Regret doesn't change anything. It's all over. But please take good care of Lily. That's all I want." Mark took Lily with him. We planned to meet every weekend. Alone at home, I wondered, did I really make the right decision? The answer was clear. It was a good choice. A few months later, I invited my parents over. I wanted to spend some quiet time with my family after a long time. "Sarah, you decorated the house beautifully," I said. "Thanks, Mom. But are you okay living alone?" "Yes, I'm fine." "It's actually more comfortable," my dad said. "Sarah, it must have been a difficult decision, but you did a great job." "Thanks, Dad." My mother took my hand. "Sarah, thank you for the bonus back then. But I'm sorry for the large amount." "Mom, don't say that. It's natural." But with that money, I was able to start over. My mother was in tears. "Mom, don't cry. These are happy tears. Because our daughter is living a proud life." That night, as I saw my parents off, I said to myself, I'm really living my own life. I no longer care what other people think. Lily, me, and my parents come first. It's normal, so why couldn't I live like that before? I don't have to give up my life just because I'm a daughter-in-law. I'm someone's precious daughter, and Lily's precious mother. I'm happy now, really happy. I wake up at dawn, have breakfast with Lily, go to work, and spend time with Lily in the evening. On weekends, I go to my parents' house and spend time with them. This is the life I've always wanted. It's simple, but it's the life I chose. I was so upset when Mark said that each person should take care of their own mother, but now that I think about it, he was right. Each person should take care of their own family. And most importantly, I am now the master of my own life. No one can decide for me. From the day I changed the door lock, I truly felt free. Everyone, what did you think of Sarah's story today? It must have been difficult, but I think she finally felt relieved. The moment Sarah sent her bonus to her parents and changed her preferences was particularly memorable. In fact, I think many people have experienced similar situations as Sarah. They were forced to make one-sided sacrifices for their family, or they couldn't speak up because they were a daughter-in-law. But as Sarah's story shows, everyone has the right to choose their own life. A daughter-in-law is also a daughter, and a wife is also an independent individual. It's not necessary to force unconditional sacrifices just because they're family. And more importantly, a real family respects each other's opinions. Isn't a real family a relationship where decisions are not made unilaterally, but through mutual consultation and consideration? It's also noteworthy that Sarah eventually accepted the idea that each person should take care of their own mother. In the end, taking care of one's own family is the most correct thing to do. You will also face many different choices in your life. At those times, I hope you can confidently speak up for yourself like Sarah. I hope today's story has brought you a little comfort and courage. Please subscribe and like the video,